don't leave batteries in them. Whatever you do, don't leave batteries in them. Look what a mess it's made. Ruined. No, I'm trolling you. This is the one that I fixed. Yes, I've got two of them. This one, because I'd saved an eBay search, because I was just curious to see if any more would turn up, and indeed it did, came from Croatia. And the reason I've got this is because you might have noticed it's got the original Sanyo cassette in there, and I was really hoping to find one of those for mine with the original Sanyo logo on. I just thought that would have been really cool. But also, if you remember, mine's got the brown leather case which is damaged. So while this is lovely, there's unfortunately no way of this actually securing the player. But this other one came with this slightly different case which goes all the way around at the bottom. So whether this was a later design or not, perhaps mine's quite an early one, not sure, but it now means that I've got a proper little slipcase to keep mine in. Now this one, as I say, it's had a battery leak, and it's also slightly bent, so it looks like it's been, I don't know, sat on or something, I'm not sure. Everything is quite seized on it. For the speed switch is not too bad. But I was the only bidder, so I thought I'd pick it up. As I say, I was interested in the case and the cassette, but also potentially because, as I mentioned in my last video on mine, having done all that work on it to get the horrible old belt and the motor surround out, might be one of the few left in the world that does still work. So to have a source of spare parts is really useful to me, and I was the only bidder, as I say, so no one else seemed to notice or seem that bothered, which is fine by me. Makes sense that I have the spare parts. But yeah, pretty crusty inside. I can't eject it or anything. I can't really do a lot with it at all. So I thought it'd be fun just to try and take it to bits and see if we can get this tape out. And just see what a state it's in inside. If I even here, it's gone right through the aluminium. It's actually eaten some of the aluminium away. It's all bulged out, so it just shows you what a mess leaving batteries and things makes. So I'm just getting my screwdriver set ready here, because I thought it would be fun just to take this apart on camera and see what it's like inside, see if I can get this tape out. I don't really have any hope of making it work, honestly. Probably should find something to put these tiny screws in as well. Yeah, the bend in it concerns me, because the mechanical tolerances are so tight. It's probably not on my agenda to make it play. But I'd be interested to see what condition the insides are in, because yeah, like I say, spare parts potential is high. One thing I have noticed on mine, my proper one, occasionally it has a bit of speed instability, and that isn't down to a mechanical issue. It actually turned out the speed switch on the top is not making a very good connection. That speed switch picks between two different resistors for the motor voltage, and if you kind of catch it in the middle, it goes to fast forward speed. So if it's making a poor connection, especially if I try to put it on the slower speed, it can be quite erratic. But yeah, it's really easy to mistake that for a mechanical issue when that turned out not to be the case. So even things like the speed switch, yes, I could clean it, but are they the same? I can't remember. I could clean it, but having one on hand that's a spare is really useful for something that rare. This has also been dropped. The corner's all bashed in there. So I'm going to try and take off front and back, I think. I might not even put this back together, I will be keeping everything. Probably in a bag or whatever, as I say, for spare parts. I want to see the condition of what's inside it. So the screws, remember right, the back just pulls out. Ooh, yeah. I can see there's some adjustment pots inside there that look really corroded. I remember how it goes. That's it. All right, yeah. Okay, so I don't remember mine having that number there. U, is that a U? It should have been a U. Or 0375. Coincidentally, serial numbers. 41503094 on this one, and on mine 41200939. So I don't know how many were made, but they don't seem to be that far apart. Wow, yeah. Okay. So can we get this front out? Oh, yep. It's a good start. Oh yeah, that little latch at the top there, I remember that. Yep. Okay. The motor, you can see the motor looks like it's sitting at an angle. I wonder what state the belt's in. Oh, it feels horrible. It's really crusty. It looks like the head block is down. I think the erase head's not down. There's the erase head, but it looks like the head is down. Goodness me, if I can get that up. I'm actually going to wash my hands and put some gloves on, because I can see stuff dropping out of this and I can already feel it kind of tingling. And as someone who's suffered skin conditions in the past, I'm not super comfortable with that, so I'm going to get some gloves. That's better. Right. Yeah, I'll have to clean my bench after this one. So yeah, I think first job, can I unstick that head block? Possibly. Depends which sort of mode it's in really, and what's sticking the buttons down. Yeah, I can see the head and the pinch roller are down. There's something right in there. I'm not sure if it's visible on camera. It looks kind of green. Ooh. Now pressing the rewind is getting the head block to the lift a bit, so it's not, the head block isn't seized. I think it's the play mechanism somewhere that's latching it down. Would it be crazy to put 3 volts to it and see if anything happens? I think before we do, I'm going to get a bit of opposite. Hit that contact there, because that's where the positive contact is. The negative is just a shell, isn't it? Hit a bit up there as well. camera stopped unfortunately because I got carried away, but I've got the door open. Yeah, there might be a chance then if I can lift the pinch roller up, I might be able to get the tape out. Oh yes, I must confess I'm not actually bothered what condition the tape inside the tape is in. Look, there's something's got in there. I don't think that's what I've just sprayed. I'm not too bothered. It looks alright actually, it'll probably be okay. But I just wanted the tape itself. But yeah, that head block. Ah, okay. No, it's starting to come together actually. Just a little bit there. But there's something that's seized here. I'm so curious to see, put power to it, what it does. Not touching, no, not touching that. Put play there. Nothing. Nothing. No, it does absolutely nothing if I put power in. It's not really drawing any current. Not surprising. Weirdly on this one, that rubber doesn't actually look too bad. It's kind of springing back. But it wasn't, I mean, unless that's anything to do with it being dented. Definitely got a curve to it. But unless that's anything to do with it being dented, the way the motor's tilted. Strangely, it doesn't seem to have that problem. You can actually see the belt there. It's probably alright. How did I get the belt off? Let's take the screw out of there, didn't I? I don't know if I want to do that. Does it move? If I move the motor. No, I can see it snapped. Yeah, I can see it's broken. The motor moves actually. I mean, not electrically, but the motor is turning, it's not seized. The flywheel's not seized. Yeah, I can see bits of belt. So the belt's gone. I wonder if it's as in bad of a condition as mine was. But yeah, there's a little switch at the top. That, I mean, that might clean out, and that's a useful source of a spare. Tempted to desolder that motor and just see if the motor works. That's it, that's removed. Good. Some corrosion everywhere. It is actually starting to go. Yeah, starting to go there. Looks just starting to go sticky. Matter of time. Date on that. Remember, 59 is 1984 in Japanese years, so 14th of September 1984. Yeah, look, already sticky on the back. You can see a piece of belt, and yep, it's like tar. So it's done exactly the same as the other one's done right. So let's bring the voltage down. Test this on lower speed. You ever try soldering something that keeps moving? Yeah, it's definitely sticky. Oh, yeah. Motor works. Cool, so we have at least a spare motor. Yeah. glass with its horrible rubber mess all over it while it's in. Yeah, interesting. Look at that peeling off. While it's in almost complete shape. I think I'm going to peel that rubber off it before it gets worse. Trust me to leave it in a box or something, then pull it out 3 years later. It's just gone completely. Oh yeah, there we go. So it seems to be that rubber on some sort of adhesive backing, which is probably why it failed in the first place, because the adhesives probably reacted. And yeah, at this point, look, it's just coming off in pieces. So I want that off. Yeah. As for the rest of it, I don't know, I might, what could I be tempted to do with that? I might put it in an ultrasonic cleaner actually. See if that will do, and then keep it dry. Just as I say, as a spare parts unit, these gloves are now virtually ruined, so I think it might be just enough to get them off and bin them. So one very messy bench later, at least we've got one thing out of it. I did have to remove that label unfortunately, but at least we've got it for posterity on video. But we've got a spare motor out of it. Just quickly to end then, after cleaning the bench, I actually ran the entire thing and all the extra bits. Well, I soaked them in vinegar first, and then I actually ran the entire thing through the ultrasonic cleaner. I don't recommend you throw entire things like that in an ultrasonic cleaner, but after spritzing again a tiny bit of deoxit in the mechanism, just working it over and over, I actually have the mechanism freed up. It's never going to work because there's so much damage. I can see in the copper traces on both sides of this flat flex, and the carbon resistors, there's a kind of coating over them. It's either a conformal coating or some sort of insulating coating. That's all flaking off. The volume control is completely seized. I've had to take the microphone out because the rubber boot around that holds it in place, that was all melting. That's the remains of it on my fingers. It's fine in my main one, so I'd have to keep my eye on that. That might be the next thing to go. The water went a most disgusting colour. There's still a little bit of the belt in there, I can see it around the flywheel, so it's not got that out completely, but it probably dissolved a lot of that. And yeah, it's got this varnish on top of it. I worked out the texture and the sort of shine of it's really different to my other one, and there was a bit of that rubber boot around that was kind of dissolving in the ultrasonic cleaner. I could see it, but yeah, everything has a lifespan, doesn't it? And unfortunately, yeah, the circuitry on this one is just too far gone to save it, but it will come in handy for spare parts. As I say, obviously we got that motor, and yeah, a couple of spare screws and bits and bobs like that. So yeah, that was just a quick mess about, really. I hope that was of some vague entertaining value, but there we go. Cheers for watching.